Hello everybody, I'm Gamoranin of TheGameCoop, here to review the game Rebel Galaxy. Rebel Galaxy is, in a nutshell, the single-player space-based flight simulator utilizing naval-style combat with RPG elements. It was released in October of 2015, developed and published by the two-person team at Double Damage Games, and is available on Windows and OS X through Steam or Good Old Games. For ranking of this game, the breakdown will be as follows: graphics, audio, gameplay, value, and engagement. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. Graphics. Rebel Galaxy is visually stunning. The vehicles, galaxies, characters, and interface designs are all top-notch. They're varied, engaging, and tons of things are adjustable. The settings adjustability allows Rebel Galaxy to be played on most systems and fit the comfort of most players. The in-game adjustability includes changing vehicles aside, switching turrets will render the new turrets on the ship, and changing your main weapons or secondaries will dramatically alter effects. If I had to quibble on the customizability, and I do, I would have liked to see more. When changing engines, it would be nice to see a difference in effect. Maybe change the color of the engine emitter. The contrail does change based on speed, but it would be nice if the boosters did more than just make it bigger. Maybe a different energy trail, or even just a color or particle change. But honestly, that's like winning the lottery and asking for more. There is debris, dust, particles, lights, so much going on, it's a kaleidoscope of visual splendor. There's virtually no pop-in, transitions are smooth, and the effects are clean. Additionally, the ships must all be highly flammable, because when they go up, they go big. In truth, it's a pretty fitting feature, especially considering the minimal amount of debris that's typically left over. But there is debris. They don't just vanish into space. Delightfully, pre-explosion damage also renders on the ship based on the type and location. All of this combines to make the combat completely immersive. When I'm riding the ragged edge of death, my ship looks like it. This game looks amazing. I simply can't say it enough. Even the things I would like to see are really just me being greedy for more, not anything lacking. Therefore, for graphics, I give Rebel Galaxy 9 out of 10. Audio. I have to say, I truly loved all of the spoken acting. There is a huge variety of characters, and I was quite impressed by the variety and believability of alien language. Extremely immersive. That being said, while I loved the spoken language, the recordings were not quite as clean as I'd like. The noise is easily ignored for ship-to-ship interactions and even really expected in the radio communication, but it's all too noticeable with the face-to-face interactions. The music in the game gives the universe some ambient character and helps set the tone. The weapons, explosions, and functional sounds of the ships and menus were all bold and crisp. Different weapons had appropriate sounds, and the audio directionality was solid. However, some of the audio cues in the game, such as proximity warnings or shield failure, often had poor timing. Additionally, many of the audio feedback options were a bit excessive, though not to the point of annoyance. I've probably heard full stop more often than was truly necessary, considering other audio cues like engine noise. All in all, still an excellent showing with a few trivialities. That gets the audio in Rebel Galaxy 8 out of 10. Gameplay. Rebel Galaxy has intuitive controls on the gamepad, but felt somewhat clumsy on the keyboard. I could have gotten used to them, but since I have the option, I quickly abandoned the keyboard. The gamepad does suffer from the sheer amount of interactivity that's commonly needed. I could have used an extra thumb on more than one occasion, so novice users may be a bit overwhelmed to start, but like I said, it's fairly intuitive, so the learning curve is easy. Gameplay is generally smooth, loading new areas is handled well with believable game mechanics. There is the occasional pop-in or spots where loading may rarely get a bit stuttery, but only once did I have any real problem with a bug where it actually affected gameplay, where by leaving a station my ship proceeded to take huge amounts of damage and explode as if it had flown into the nearby planet. As an isolated incident, really fairly ignorable and honestly pretty hilarious at the time. Other than that, most of my time was spent blissfully flying around the various sectors of space, completing missions, rescuing the odd citizen from raiders, mining the various asteroid fields, or scrounging debris clouds for cargo. There is tons to do if you go looking for activities. Unfortunately, you'll have to go looking for variety pretty quick. Combat becomes repetitive rather quickly if you're not willing to experiment with new ships, equipment, or engagement styles. If you have a tendency to min-max and not look back, you will quickly find a playstyle that suits you best and probably get bored. The AI is not particularly clever. Enemy ships will happily follow you around like a pack of puppy dogs once engaged. Getting surrounded can be deadly, but if you stay on the outside or fight your way out and then work your way back in, you don't need any further tactics. They will chase you, shoot at you, and once in a great while attempt to maneuver away like a dying whale, but they'll never actually disengage and retreat. That tends to be a good thing for missions because when enemies are swarming, the targeting becomes a bit sloppy and you'll need to have time to chase down the last couple stragglers. Missions do suffer from a similar type of sameness as they basically boil down to go here, get that, and or kill them sort of pattern regardless of the mission type it is. There are the odd escort, guarding, or rescue missions, but they're either astonishingly difficult, as it turns out that there was one more ship you were supposed to be guarding that you didn't quite know about because it was just out of visual range getting annihilated by its own little pack of puppies, or quite time-consuming, as to escort a ship to another sector means surrendering control to the AI, who will want to position your ship just so before the move event flags will trigger, and if you're in an asteroid field, you're either going to take damage or grow old waiting for positioning. All that being said, I did participate in several missions of each type and enjoyed the subtle variety each provided. On top of that, there are slight variations from several different factions. I was even generally successful with the majority of them, but in the end I couldn't help but avoid the missions that tended up being more of a chore than a pleasure. So, all in all, I did find myself getting bored from time to time, but whenever I did, I just switched to one of the other plentiful activities until my eyes glazed over again. In the end, gameplay in Rebel Galaxy is still a strong showing with 7 out of 10. Value. I've logged over 40 hours in this game, originally bought it on sale, and I am still not tired of it. I've played through 2 different saves, and I'm gearing up for a pirate run to have a go as a bad guy. The game retails normally for $20, which is actually somewhat steep for what is essentially an indie title, but considering the replayability, polish, and volume of this game, you'd never be able to tell it was a 2-person team. While the gameplay may be a bit padded in its repetitive nature, the price is generous if not spot on. That easily nets Rebel Galaxy a huge value, with 9 out of 10. Engagement. The storyline for Rebel Galaxy is suitably vague to begin. You're off to a distant galaxy at the behest of a dubious yet likable family member. There you find adventure, intrigue, and wealth while traveling among a number of solar systems, chasing and being chased by various factions after a mysterious artifact. The overall setting is one of a frontier space western in a similar vein to shows like Firefly or Cowboy Bebop. You have a variety of faction options, so you can play more or less any way you like, and the differences, while not colossal, add yet more variety to the part you end up writing alongside the main story. However, as an open world, or in this case open universe type game, Rebel Galaxy inevitably falls victim to the foible of all such games, and that is a lack of any real sense of urgency. In truth, the game does a pretty good job of trying, in that the pacing of missions is well handled, events are well timed, and I never felt forced to do anything I didn't want to do. I was usually happy to move to each new piece of story as it was presented, and took breaks to follow side missions or do other activities as I liked. Sometimes when they popped up, sometimes a bit later. Notably, one such instance was when you participate in a jailbreak, as all Western-type stories must have, and the character in question later confides they were relieved that they were only incarcerated for a week, though by the in-game calendar, from the time I was notified of the mission to the time I actually stopped farting around upgrading my ship and blowing up cartel corsairs, it had been something more like months. Still, the unique characters are remarkably engaging, and there are a ton of different characters. And even if the vast majority of space is colonized with hundreds of thousands of male and female versions of the same couple sets of clones, the bit players having a very disposable Stormtrooper-esque quality, those that are more than the background dross have a surprising amount of characterization and even individuality. The voice acting is stellar, and nearly everyone, from random traders to mercenaries and of course the main characters, actually has a spoken part. All that serves to elevate the immersion from a casual once-in-a-while game to an invested and enjoyable experience, earning Rebel Galaxy's engagement an 8 out of 10. Overall, this leaves Rebel Galaxy with an average score of 8 out of 10. I have to say I honestly love this game, and I will happily recommend it to just about anyone who enjoys space games, naval-style combat, or even just lasers and explosions. If you want a taste, you can watch my first sector playthrough, but really, you should just do yourself a favor. Pick up this game, crack open a Narco Cola, break out the soy paste with a liberal dose of tachyon salt, and strap yourself in for hours of fun. This has been Gam of the GameCoop, reviewing Rebel Galaxy. Enjoy the rest of the bonus endgame footage, and keep on cooperating.
Target locked. Missiles inbound. Engines impaired. Craft inbound. Missiles inbound. Target destroyed. Target locked. Engines are no longer impaired. Enemy craft inbound. Full stop. Missiles inbound. Enemy craft inbound. Target destroyed. Missiles inbound. Threat level yellow. Enemy craft inbound. Mission complete. Target destroyed. Threat level orange. Engines at maximum. Missiles inbound. Threat level yellow. Target locked. Full stop. Missiles inbound. Engines at maximum. Missiles inbound. Threat level yellow. Missiles inbound. Collision warning. Missiles inbound. Full stop. Missiles inbound. Target destroyed. Target locked. Missiles inbound. Target destroyed. Collision warning. Exiting sublight. Missiles inbound. Engines impaired. Engines are no longer impaired. Accelerating to sublight. Stellar map. Accelerating to sublight. Warp inhibited by hostile craft. Exiting sublight. Scanner. Scanning. Missiles inbound. Full stop. Collision warning. Missiles inbound. Engines at maximum. Collision warning.